Today, we're going to unpack a really simple but honestly a pretty profound way to think about navigating life's challenges. It's a mental model to help you keep moving forward when the going gets tough. It's all about reframing how we see the obstacles in our path. So let's jump right in.
So let's just start with this question right here. We've all been there, haven't we? You hit a day, maybe a week, or even a whole season where everything just feels hard, like you're trying to drive through a crazy storm. What's your go-to reaction when that happens?
The source material for this explainer gives us this really simple but powerful idea. And this one concept, well, it's the key to a whole new way of looking at resilience. Because here's the secret. It's not about learning how to avoid the bumps. That's impossible. It's about learning how to drive right over them. Okay, so first things first, let's really lay the groundwork for this metaphor. We're talking about the road of life and where we fit into that journey. So imagine you're in the driver's seat of your own car. You've got a destination in mind, right? Those are your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, everything you're aiming for. And you are the one in control, navigating your own unique path. You're not just a passenger on a bus going wherever it takes you. Nope, you are the one behind the wheel.
But of course, it doesn't matter how great of a driver you are or how perfectly you plan your route, you know it's coming. So let's talk about what happens when you inevitably hit a bump.
So what exactly is a bump? Well, it could be anything really. A project at work that totally fails, a tough conversation you had to have, a moment of just crushing self-doubt, or even just one of those days where nothing seems to go your way. These bumps aren't signs that you're on the wrong road. They're just a totally natural, unavoidable part of any journey that's actually worth taking. And this brings us to the absolute core of this whole metaphor. You're driving along, minding your own business, and bam, you hit a massive pothole. It jolts the car, it's super unpleasant, and you definitely didn't see it coming. What do you do next? Do you just pull over, turn off the engine, and give up on your trip right there on the side of the road?
Of course not. The idea sounds almost ridiculous, doesn't it? You might slow down for a second, maybe you check to make sure the car's okay, but what do you ultimately do? You keep going. And this just perfectly illustrates the point. A bump is an interruption. It's not your destination. It's a piece of data, not the final verdict on your journey. You just continue.
So if the goal is to just keep on going, how do we actually do that when we feel all rattled and shaken up? Well, the source gives us a simple, three-part playbook for building that kind of resilience. Let's break down the strategy.
And here it is, 3 really clear, actionable steps. First, protect your character. Second, practice self-compassion. And third, you reset and you restart. Let's dig into what each of these really means. Notice that step 1 has nothing to do with fixing the problem out there. It's all about protecting what's inside you. And why is that? Because a tough road can make us want to take shortcuts, right? It can make us cynical or make us lose our kindness. Protecting your character is about making a choice not to let the bumps in the road change who you are as the driver. It's really the ultimate act of control when everything else feels out of your control. Now, step 2, it starts with self-compassion. Maybe you're thinking you could have avoided that bump or that you messed up and that's what caused it. You know what? It doesn't matter. The very first thing you have to do to get back on track is to forgive yourself for that jolt. Because blame is like emotional quicksand that just keeps you stuck on the side of the road.
And the second part of that self-compassion is absolutely crucial, taking a rest. After a big jolt, any smart driver would pull over for a minute. Catch their breath, check the metaphorical tires. Rest is not the same as quitting. It's refueling. It is a strategic pause that lets you get back on the road with more clarity and strength.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most liberating part of this whole playbook. This is the move that actually gets you back on the road, embracing the incredible power of a restart. So after you've protected your core values and you've shown yourself a little kindness, the final step is really boiled down to its purest form. It's this, a single, powerful action. You restart. Not from the very beginning of your journey, but from this exact moment, right now. A restart isn't about erasing the past. It's about deciding that the past no longer gets to define your future. You just put your hands back on the wheel and you drive.
So we'll just leave you at this final thought. That bump, it's in your rearview mirror now. The road ahead is wide open and you are still, and you always will be, in the driver's seat. So the only question left is the one you see right here. Your road continues. Where will you drive next?